What's up? Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Nameco and Dustin here. This is a baseball edition. Before we start talking about that football, we talked about it. Sign up for those games. There's a chance to win a trip to Hawaii. Come on now.
T-shirts.
And t-shirts, of course, Dustin, and those t-shirts.
Last week we talked about, at this point of the season, it's all about the hot bat. It's all about, sometimes even dropping big name guys. You're past the trade deadline. You're not holding on to them for trade value or anything like that. It's what have you done for me lately? So we thought this week we'd maybe talk about a few of the guys that fit that category. First one, Brian McCann. Big name catcher, but just really not playing well right now. You need a guy that can bat over 200 at least for you at the catcher position. McCann, okay to drop him. I know it's tricky. Another guy, more concussion stuff coming up. I know, it's a tough thing for me to say. I was really hoping he'd be able to come back and be successful, at least for the end of the year. But with this latest little scare with the concussion stuff, go ahead and cut him. And the last guy, Nelson Cruz, he just got banged up. He's probably going to miss a good portion of the regular season at this point. If you don't have your DL spot, or if you already have your DL spot locked up and he's just rotting on your bench, go ahead and cut him as well.
All right, the guy I'm going to talk about, the first one is Adam Dunn.
Awful.
We told you, first of all, we did not have this guy ranked and we were catching hell for it. Just awful. Dustin's right. Cut him. You should have cut him 3 months ago. Then we got Ichiro. The bat's just not really there as of late, and if he's not really getting on, that means he's not really stealing, so you're going to have to let him go too. And the last one's Chris Young. Same kind of deal. He's just not playing that great right now. Pick up a hot bat.
Ichiro? Like Itchy and Scratchy?
Did I say Ichiro? Did I really? Oh, man.
All right, we told you who to drop. Now let's tell you who to pick up. And the first guy is James Loney. Only on 35% of leagues, which is kind of shocking because this guy is on fire. Last month, 367, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, 10 walks. He's really seeing the ball great right now. I know it's first base, easy position to fill, but you got to ride this one out.
All right, my first of two fish to talk about is Mike Carp. In the month of August, 313, 6 home runs, and 25 RBIs. I mean, that doubles probably the number that Seattle's had all year, so obviously a good guy to look at.
Good old Carp. Next, we got Strasburg. He is coming, shockingly enough. He's been pitching pretty good in the minors too, so he might be able to have an impact for you on your team. He's only owned in 60% of leagues. If you're one of the 40% that doesn't have him owned, you should own him.
Better be good. I've been holding the guy for a month. All right, fish two, Mike Trout. Batting a little bit over 400, 4 RBIs in the month of August. Again, obviously, if you need a hot bat, this is the kind of guy to be picking up.
Next, Austin Jackson, owning about 35% of leagues. He hasn't been having a great month of August, but here's why he's on this list. Last 3 games, he has 7 hits. He's a very streaky hitter. This might be the beginning of one of his hot streaks, and if you haven't caught on yet, we're trying to tell you who's hitting the ball really good right now, so you can ride this out and get going into the playoffs hot.
All right, let's take a look at those deeper leagues. We're going to start with Kyle Seager out there with the Mariners. As we said before, it seems like they're calling up a lot of people. And here's another guy. He's been batting well over 300 since being called up. 2 home runs, so a little bit of power. But the key about him, second and third base eligibility. So if you got some dead weight there, he's the young guy to pick up and cut whoever you got.
Another young guy that we like out with the White Sox, Alejandro De Aza. I think I nailed that name.
I say
August,
Ichiro for the love of God.
Month of August, batting over 350, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, 5 bags, potential to do it all. We actually really like this guy.
All right, next we got a catcher, and that's Jesus Montero with the New York Yankees. Only owned in 10% of leagues, which is kind of shocking because he was probably drafting about 25% of leagues. But he got cut because he's just getting called up now. So the fact is he's getting called up. Probably not going to be an everyday catcher, but he's going to do some DH work, so you should get a decent amount of bats out of him down the stretch. Pretty good. We think he's going to be a good average guy with a little bit of pop.
All right, we got another outfitter for you, a youngster out with Houston, JD Martinez. His first 116 at-bats in the league, batting right around 300, 5 home runs, 29 RBIs already. Off to a pretty hot start. This guy's got some upside.
All right, and then we got one more catcher to go, and that's Rob
Barajas.
Gotta screw that up every time. I can't do the tongue twister. Since August 16th, he's raised his average 34 points. He's a catcher. Normally you need some, if you got an old guy that's doing terrible, you need catcher help, he's got to get.
So again, play those hot bats. You got to do it this time of year. Hopefully you're just getting ready for your playoffs or trying to hold on to your rotisserie lead. But I'm Dustin, this is Brent. Get into those games, see you in the forums, and say it with me now, Barajas. Barajas.
Well, how about we'll start with Ichiro. Well, let me get Ichiro.